Hi again, you guys. Thanks so much for tuning in and watching all the different art videos. Today we're going to talk about something called perspective. So you know perspective when you look at a picture and it looks like you can actually reach into the picture. It shows depth into the picture. So today we're going to try something kind of like this. So there's really only about 6 lines on this paper. And I'm going to explain each one to you and how they matter and how it makes it look like you could actually walk down this road. Okay? So what you're going to need is a ruler, any kind of ruler. If you don't have a ruler, just like the edge of a book, something straight. You can use a pencil if you want to use a pencil before using a marker. I did that on this one. I probably won't for the example. And then you need a permanent marker. It can be black, it can be any dark color, but it has to be permanent. If it's a washable marker, then the lines are going to bleed away when you add your watercolor, which brings me to watercolor. You just need any watercolor little paint palette, water, paintbrush, and a piece of cardstock or watercolor paper. Okay? So I have just something to protect my surface underneath. And I'm going to start by taking my ruler and I'm going to draw a line straight across the middle of the paper laying the long way. So this is going to be our first line, this one that goes under the purple, okay? So I'm going to do that and show you what it looks like. Whoop, not even going to use my pencil. Make it go a little quicker. All right. So here's your line. This is called the horizon line. The horizon line in any picture, in any photograph or any painting is the line where the ground meets the sky. So that's the horizon line, okay? The next thing you're going to want to do is draw a dot on that line, okay? That dot is called the vanishing point. That's the point on the line where you can no longer see where the road is going. It vanishes, it disappears, okay? So you have your line, you have your dot. The next lines you're going to make 2 lines next. It's going to be the outlines of your road. So you're just going to make like a wide triangle. So I'll do that and show you what it looks like. Using my ruler again, okay? Starting at the vanishing point, the dot that you put on your horizon line and going out. Both times I start right at that vanishing point and go out. Okay? So now you have what looks like a wide triangle with a line at the top. Okay? Next, you're going to do the center dots right down the middle. And what I did was I did a pencil line and then I started with just dots and made the dots into dashes that were longer and further apart as I came forward. So that shows that you're very close to this part of the road and very far away from that part of the road. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. Again, I use my ruler. I use my ruler for the first 4 lines. Okay, you can kind of see I messed it up a little bit, but get the idea. So there we've got our center line in the road. Okay, so it's like we're gonna go into the picture. The next part is gonna be wavy lines. Now I put little mountains in the background and I don't need my ruler for that because I don't want them to be straight. I want them to be bumpy, just like mountains would be or hills would be. They're not perfectly straight, they're nice and bumpy. And thankfully I kind of have like a jittery hand, and so making bumpy lines works out really well for me. All right? So there we have the mountains. So we really only did 6 lines here today. So next, you're going to get out your paints, okay? Make sure you get your paintbrush good and wet. And I started with the grass. So I'm going to do this real fast. It's not going to be super pretty. I just want to give you an idea of how to do it so that you can see how it works, okay? So I started with some nice green, filled in both sides on the sides of the triangle where grass would be. You guys can get a little creative with this if you want. I wanted it to be kind of simple so that when you were trying it out, you would get the idea of perspective. And if you want to add more details to your perspective painting, that is great. I would love to see those details. I've seen your parents post so many awesome pictures of different projects you're doing, not just art, but all kinds of things. Different activities you're doing at home. So there's an idea that got in there a little bit, but that's okay. So now I'm going to do the road. I'm going to leave around the center line, I'm going to leave it white. I'm going to be very careful not to color that because I want to put a little bit of yellow in there. So I'm going to do the black first and leave a space for the yellow, okay? So you're going to want to rinse off your brush, go and get some black. Now you can easily do this with markers too, but I thought it might be kind of fun to try watercolors. All right, I was careful not to cover up those dashes in the middle so that I can make it yellow. Because the dashes themselves are actually yellow when you look at the road, but we made ours black. You kind of get the idea. We wanted just to show how perspective works on a drawing. Alrighty. So I could fill this in later and make it more black and clean it up a little bit if I want to, but for now I'm just going to show you. Alright, so now I'm going to wash my brush. I'm going to get some yellow or some gold, kind of the color that you would see in the dashes on the center of a road, and I'm just going to make a line straight down the middle, like that. Okay, now I'm going to do my mountains kind of purpley, just to make it dramatic. So I'm going to find some purple here. If you don't have purple watercolor, you can mix blue and red, like we learned last week. You can mix a bunch of colors, make different things. Alrighty. Like I said, I'm doing this nice and quick so that you get an idea for how to do your own. So I'm not being super careful, but I hope you will be careful and do an excellent job. All right, so there's my mountains. And then I'm going to do a sunset. I'll actually hold this up and just try and do it real quick in front of you so you can see. I start with the lightest color, yellow. Of course, I washed the purple off my brush. And then I got some gold. If you don't have gold, you can add a little orange to your yellow. All right. After that, it looks like I put in some pink. Alrighty. If it's too pink, you can get a little extra water in there. All right. And then I added light pink, or you can add some white to a dark pink if you want. I'm going to put this down for a second and fill in a good portion of it quick. There we go. And then at the top, I put in some blue for the sky. And I just kind of run them together by getting my paintbrush wet again and bringing each color into the next, letting them bleed together and run together. So there you have your perspective painting. If you want to get fancy, you can add some of the sunset yellow to the top of the mountains. You can do that because, like, when the sun is setting, it does shine its light a little bit on the tops of the mountains. So that's an idea if you want to add some light to your painting. So I hope you enjoyed today's lesson and learned about perspective. See you next time.